What's up? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Bitcoin Maximalism versus Bitcoin Majoritarianism. And I thought it was important to discuss this video after disclosing my portfolio because I think it will give a little bit of rationale into my thinking and my behavior in this space, as well as break down some of the, orthodoxies around maximalism and I guess what some would call multi-coiners or multi-coinerism, whatever you want to call it. But I think it's important to start with an understanding of what is Bitcoin maximalism. And I think Bitcoin maximalism would be better understood as monetary maximalism. And people who adopt or subscribe to the philosophy of Bitcoin maximalism, they are basically making a historical argument about the history of money, right? And they are coming to a conclusion based off of history that money typically has converged to one good. And this has happened throughout history, and as populations have come closer together and our societies have become more interconnected, we have converged as a society onto one monetary instrument, and that monetary instrument historically speaking was gold, right? And then there's a whole conversation to be had about how fiat happened and dollarization and certification happened on top of gold, right? But what Bitcoin maximalists are looking at is they're looking at the historical evolution of money, and they're basically saying that historically money has converged to one good, and based off of this, and based off of Bitcoin and other altcoins and a lot of different things we're not going to get into in this video, they believe that Bitcoin will be that one monetary good. And I believe that, I'm going to start by saying I have a lot of sympathies towards this line of argumentation, right? I as an Austrian economist, or a self-described Austrian economist, someone who adheres to that ideology, I think that many people in the Austrian school believe that this is the case for money, that whatever good serves as money, it is best serves that purpose if everyone converges on that good, and the more people that converge on that good, the less premium other goods will have compared to that good as being a form of money, right? And this kind of makes sense. Like, if everyone's using, I think the best case to look at is gold versus silver, historically speaking, right? And at one time, these two precious metals served kind of simultaneously as money. But what happened is that as some people chose one form of money, silver, and other people chose another form of money, gold, the money that was more sound actually won out over time, right? Gold won out and beat out gold for all intents and purposes. And so when we talk about Bitcoin and we talk about crypto assets and cryptocurrency, I think that I am of the belief that all of these crypto assets are striving to become a new form of money, right? There is a lot of thought and a lot of thinking around the idea of app tokens and utility tokens and maybe even commodity-like tokens. I don't want to get into details of some of those various aspects and use cases for cryptocurrency in this video. What I will say is that I haven't fully actually bought into these ideas of utility tokens and app tokens and commodity tokens. And that's not to say that they won't exist, and that's not to say that something can't come along and serve other purposes. But what I do believe right now, and where I'm at in my thinking, is that the internet will have a form of money. And this money will emerge organically and will be chosen freely on the market. And I believe that so far Bitcoin has proven itself far and beyond all other of the cryptocurrencies, and this is demonstrated not only by the monetary premium and market cap that it has been able to ensue, but also its dominance compared to all other cryptocurrencies in terms of percentage of the market cap that it shares in the total crypto asset market space, right? And so some of you guys may have seen from a previous video, I am currently in the process of investing primarily into two different projects. 80% of my money goes into Bitcoin, another 20% goes into Decred. And I have a number of reasons for doing this. that I'm not going to get into entirely in this video, because what I want to talk to you guys about in this video is Bitcoin maximalism versus majoritarianism, right? And so it is my belief, and I'm just going to put this out there as a belief and sort of leave it in the ethos for people to think about and talk about, is that historically speaking, money does converge to one good and one commodity. And I think that this is not to say that other goods and services cannot serve as money. And George Guda Holzman in The Ethics of Money Production actually talks about that it's often the case that some other commodity serves as money as well in conjunction with another commodity, because the money serve a different purpose, right? And so you could think about this in terms of the narrative of Litecoin, right? How Litecoin was the silver to Bitcoin's gold. And basically, Charlie Lee tried to sell Litecoin as being faster, having more transactions, being more for commerce rather than for store of value, which Bitcoin sort of optimizes for. And so I think that this thinking has a lot of merit, at least the George Guda Holzman, not the Charlie Lee thinking. The George Guda Holzman, that it is not unreasonable to think that societies can't have different forms of money that serve different purposes. In the cryptocurrency space, I believed at one point that that there would be maybe two forms of currency, one that was Bitcoin and one that was something else that would serve as a privacy-focused coin, like Monero or Grin or Zcash or something of that nature. And I have evolved in this thinking, and I still believe that, I am of the belief that Bitcoin will get more privacy on upper layers, but in terms of the base chain, I think kind of privacy's been lost. And so I still believe privacy is important to a couple of people, and those people will choose to store some of their wealth in cryptocurrency or digital currency that offers them privacy at the base layer. So no one can see how much money they own. It's impossible to actually look at the ledger in that way. And so to this end, I subscribe to the idea of Bitcoin Majoritarianism, right? In which I believe that Bitcoin will come to dominate a large majority of the premium that is to be obtained by something become a new form of money, a money that is native to the internet. However, I also do believe that another, maybe one or two other cryptocurrencies will serve maybe not as like the Bitcoin standard or the monetary standard, right? But they will be able to capture some role or some other use case and some value, whether that be privacy, whether that be some sort of commodity-like usage, such as Ethereum, or something like Decred, which I think optimizes for, the gamification of governance. And so I just want to say that Bitcoin maximalism isn't a cult following, right? Bitcoin maximalism is an understanding of monetary history and of the evolution of money and of economics. And I believe that being a Bitcoin majoritarian is not incompatible with Bitcoin maximalism. It's just an understanding that the thing that actually ends up becoming money, all parties will actually benefit from adopting one thing as money. However, I still am of the belief that some other digital commodities or digital currencies will serve a purpose in conjunction with Bitcoin. And I believe that it's possible to still capture a lot of the upside that is not able to be captured with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has been around for the last 10 years, if you're able to identify those projects early on, meaning around this time frame. And so I put a little bit of money into Decred because I think it's possible that Decred can serve sort of this second purpose. And I look forward to talking more about that in future videos. I'm not comfortable enough to talk about that now, but I subscribe personally to the idea of Bitcoin majoritarianism, in which I do believe that Bitcoin is going to take maybe 95% of this total addressable market, whereas the other two, maybe it's only one, and maybe it's zero. But I believe that those digital currencies will be able to accrue some value and a lot of upside from where we stand in the market right now. So that's my two cents. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this interesting. Please let me know what you guys think about my thoughts. I'm always trying to challenge my thinking. This is not financial advice. This is just me putting my thoughts and my thinking out into the internet, and I really like to have my ideas challenged. I like to interact with people and see what other people think and how other people wrestle with these issues. So let me know in the comments below. See you in the next video. Peace.